What's up, everybody? Welcome to episode 17
Holy
of the
shit,
of
17?
the Brood Opinions. It feels like we just started this up yesterday. We're coming off of a huge... We just got back from our local wrestling show. We still got our bracelets on. PWR in the house. Crowned our first ever world champion tonight. We got Raw on Netflix. We got Wrestle Kingdom last night. We got AEW Worlds End. NXT New Year's Evil tonight. From where we were 2 weeks ago, KT, wrestling is happening. What's going on?
It's back, man, because 2 weeks ago I was fucking done with WWE because they were in a standstill, but
Yeah.
got a little fucking flavor in the water today. We went to that independent wrestling thing. We can talk about that if you want.
Yeah, I mean,
start.
PWR. Awesome. I mean, let's talk about what's on the horizon for the WWE. The biggest news in wrestling is Raw. Netflix, January 6th, Monday night. It's like a pay-per-view card. I mean, now we were very critical.
PLE?
Yes.
Shall we say a PLE?
We were very critical on this show about how they lost their way. There was no storyline. What are they going to do up until Royal Rumble? But now we understand Raw on Netflix, January 6th, it's like a PLE.
That's the next PLE, basically. Yeah. Like, this is going to be a huge night. I think you're going to see a lot of stuff happen that night. And finally, they started setting up some fucking storylines for it because we were at a standstill for a couple of weeks. I mean,
yeah.
After War Games, like, it was just like, what are we doing? And the Saturday Night Main Event was just same thing. It's like, I don't even know what we're doing. But,
I mean, we got a big main event on Monday night. It's been building for probably over a year now. Everybody wants it. The promos have been fire, as the kids say. Seth, CM Punk. What do you expect there?
Oh, I fucking loved it the other night because I actually thought that, like, as good as CM Punk is on the microphone, I thought Seth held his own and, like, defended, like, him saying W. I think it's a great storyline. I think that thing should go for a year. Like, it could go for as long as they want it to go.
Yeah, it's going to be great. The promos that they cut the other night, the CM Punk being included into the War Games match with Seth not wanting to be involved with it. We finally have a scenario here where it's finally going to pay off. But I don't think it should just, I mean, I feel like we're on the...
It shouldn't pay off here.
I feel like this is going to...
It should be just the beginning.
I feel like this is going to be a WrestleMania match, and this is just going to be kind of like what CM Punk and Drew did, where they built up to these several matches. Yeah. But I think, a lot...
Well, dude, they were hitting each other hard with some, like, real life stuff, I think, man. I mean...
deep shit.
I mean, when CM Punk said, like, I left... What is your wife doing? Or what's the man doing? Basically is what he said. He was like, what's the man doing? He's like, and Seth hits it right back with, the man sitting at home taking care of their kids, something you never did. It was like, fucking holy shit.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't really know that whole story, but it seemed like it hit hard, and it seemed like it was a legit thing, because he went back to it a couple times.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is going to be a great match that we've all wanted to see. They built the whole Raw Netflix PLE around it. Triple H says we're going to see things that we've never seen before on Netflix. I don't know what that means. Like, maybe the way that's broadcasted. Maybe they are in that brand new Intuit Arena where they built for the Clippers. And apparently there's a lot of interactive things in there. Wonder if we're going to get some things like that. But I think that Raw Netflix, it's huge. Like, I'm excited, man.
But how do you feel, like, honestly, about, like, the Rollins and, like, Seth thing? Because, like, I mean, during CM Punk's leave of absence, like, it was cool in the beginning. The stadiums. I get where Seth was coming from. And I get where, like, CM Punk said when they called him corporate. But it was, like, at the same time, it's like, dude, he was holding down the biggest fucking industry that's out there while you were doing whatever the God knows you wanted to do and not showing up for the fans. Like, and to hear the fans shooting for CM Punk, I'm like, what the fuck's wrong with you guys?
Wrestling fans are not the brightest sometimes.
Well, I know that. And I get that. And
including myself.
And they're entitled to root for whoever they want to. But I'm like, this is Seth fucking Rollins, man. Like, right here, telling you, this guy left you. This guy did, whatever he wanted to do. And he can claim that, oh, I wasn't the one wanted. And, they're trying to build this, like, what was going on with, like, the Shield, CM Punk at the time. Because they were all right there. Like, they were all right there. CM Punk a little bit before Roman,
But
Seth.
when CM Punk leaves the company and...
Well, he was forced to.
And he wasn't forced to. He chose to leave, and then he went and had a terrible MMA career. And during that whole time, who was carrying the company? The architect.
Yeah.
Seth Rollins.
I know. So you get it, man.
I mean, these guys are going to put on...
It's going to be an unbelievable match.
A banger.
But it's like CM Punk. He does this shit all the time. And I don't know why the wrestling fans... I love CM Punk. But, man, sometimes it just gets fucking old.
Well,
he acts like he cares about the business.
But I think, like, the good thing about it, like, that's his character. But it's, like, that's what he's portraying, which is good. I mean...
Oh, no, it's awesome.
Yeah,
but it's
like
just
what he did with Drew, like, I just saw, Busted Open had their Busties, their year end of the awards, and the feud of the year was CM Punk, Drew McIntyre. Which wasn't I would have incredible. Never, ever thought that the two of those guys could work together. And they did. And now we're getting ready to have CM Punk, Seth, who we all wanted, and what better place to kick it off than the main event of Raw on Netflix?
Yeah.
I don't even know what to call it. I guess Raw on Netflix. I don't know.
Just Raw. But Raw on
everything
Netflix.
Is happening that night.
The Universal Champion's not even fighting on Raw on Netflix.
Yeah.
Like, this is the fucking match outside of Solo and Roman.
Yeah, I mean, we've got, bringing that up, we've got Tribal Combat, dude. We've got the Ulafala on the line, and we've got developments in SmackDown.
Tell me that Heyman's not setting up a fucking turn.
Solo, it kind of threw me for a loop. Like, Solo comes out and he says, I need someone that I can trust to hold the Ulafala during the match. The whole time he was making that point, and he was implying that it was Paul Heyman, I thought The Rock's music was going to hit. Mm-hmm. And he was like, I'll hold the Ulafala. Like, The Rock has to be in this match.
Some way or another.
Because we all know that it's Roman Rock at WrestleMania. I don't know what we're going to do to get there, but it's got to happen at Raw. That's the start of it. And something has to do. We were talking earlier before we came on, before we went to the PWR show. We said, my theory is that The Rock is going to come out. He's going to steal the Ulafala from Heyman, and he's going to hold it. And those two guys, and Roman is going to beat Solo and destroy him, but he's not going to have the Ulafala because Rock's going to have it. And that's their storyline.
And that would be
sick. I don't know why I'm going like this.
I don't know either, but you're
symbolically holding the Ulafala.
You are symbolizing that I'm the motherfucker that's in charge right now. You are the tribal chief.
I have the imaginary Ulafala.
No, but I also look at it like, I mean, I still think there's an Easter egg with Heyman wearing the black suit with the red.
I know you're on that.
And then the other night with Solo coming out and asking him to be the wise man to him, like they could tell that story. And I think, like just like you said, The Rock takes the
Ulafala, whatever you call it,
and says that now you're my wise man. Now Heyman's torn between all three, and Heyman did a great job the other night. He shit all over Solo.
He's so
good, so good. Dude. And then as soon as Solo puts his hand out, he just puts it there, and I'm your advocate. I mean, it's brilliant.
But he's not. He's not Solo's advocate.
I know, but he still did it.
Are we supposed to forget that?
So he's supposed to be just so afraid of Solo putting through the table again because that's what he said.
Are we supposed to forget that ever happened?
No, I think that's supposed.
You know what I thought was really good in that promo by Heyman is how he talked about how nobody in the family, in the Inoue family, would acknowledge Solo, so he had to go get some hoodlums in the outside, the Tongas and Jacob Fatu, to acknowledge him because no one in the family would. I thought that was huge. I thought that was a lot.
That was a big statement, but I also think I've come a long way on Solo, believing that Solo's actually the face of this whole thing. That Roman's still the heel. That the original bloodline are the assholes, and that Solo.
I don't want to say the original bloodline. Roman.
Okay, we can say Roman. Yeah, because the Usos believe in their brother.
Been through a lot.
They've all been through it.
Yeah. But I still have not get that warm feeling from Roman.
No, of course not. He's not giving it to anybody.
He wants
what does Solo do every time? He's not tearing up the rest of the roster. He's just going after the original bloodline. And every time he honors Fatu, Tonga.
Did you hear the fans the other night when they were walking to the ring and Jacob did his thing? I love you, Solo. The whole crowd was chanting it, dude. And I was like, I thought to myself, ooh, I don't think they want that.
No, but this is
Jacob
the guy
too, when he was like, I love you, Solo. And the whole crowd said it. And I was like, that is not what the WWE wants.
No, and it will be a good thing for them, though, going forward. Because
dude, if they come out and say, the whole crowd, that becomes a thing, I love you, Solo. Jacob Fatu is...
And they've been setting that up for a little bit. Because he's been doing that every time in the ring.
Jacob Fatu has underratingly probably been better than they could have ever imagined him to be. They could have... I mean, are we going to get Zilla? Is he finally coming? Like, he's the one that's rumored out there. He's acknowledged Roman as his tribal chief. He's acknowledged that he will only respond. Like, Zilla's the next person to come. Like, we've talked about how big the bloodline is and how it slacked at Survivor Series and how it's kind of gone a little bit of ways.
And I do believe it's going to have its ebbs and flows. But, like, for me, man.
But we've got to set up Roman Rock.
We've got to set that up.
That's the match. That's the match.
At WrestleMania.
That's the match. That's the main. I mean, that then we get into a whole nother conversation of what the card looks like at WrestleMania. Is that night 2 main event? Is that night 1 main event? Are you going to have the? How do you not?
Get there when we get there.
This is how big the bloodline is. Could Roman Rock be night 2 main event without a belt on the line? And you've got Cody with the heavyweight title against who I think is going to be against Randy Orton. That's what I think that storyline is going to go to. But
yeah, that makes sense.
Because I really believe, you really think that Cody and KO, I mean, we're going to transition right into this. You really think Cody and KO, I mean, they're going to finish their deal at Royal Rumble.
The bigger story is Randy.
What is Randy doing with either one of them? Right. Yeah, he got taken out by KO, but I don't think the triple threat makes sense. I think Cody Randy in some capacity.
Well, you go with the line that KO's going with right now. That fucking Cody turned their back on them and joined forces with Roman at that one PLE before Survivor Series or
Bad Blood.
Bad Blood. So like if he gets into Randy's ear and talks to him about the whole time, like how Cody's been setting him up, I mean they can easily tell that story. And be like an awesome fucking event because I think Cody Randy would be fucking phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's where that, like, I'm a little confused with the Cody KO becoming a ladder match. Like, they're trying to make the ladder match this unbelievable match that exists of violence and everything.
I think it's the time of year where the ladder match is supposed to be.
Yeah, but it's like, if you want to have this drop-down knockout match, why are you not having it?
Do a last man standing. Let's do an Iron Man match.
Iron Man match, street fight. Hell in a Cell is special. You got to be careful with what you do with Hell in a Cell. I think Drew and CM Punk did that Hell in a Cell, and I think you need to shelve Hell in a Cell for.
But you could have an Iron Man match. You could have a
Iron Man match, but that really does it. That's more of a technical wrestling match, I believe. Like I feel like Last Man Standing is where that needs to go. But ladder match also is no DQ. I get it.
No, Last Man Standing makes the most sense. But now, fucking KO is crazy.
But they're gonna.
Cody wants to go to any.
They're gonna hang the winged eagle up just because KO stole it. Like that winged eagle is a traditional. He's not the champion.
Right.
Like that. A little weird. I know where they're going. It's gonna be a great match. I know where they're going. But let's get back to Raw on Netflix. We've got Seth and CM. We've got pull it up on the thing. We've got
Solo.
We got Solo and Roman. So we got how can we not? How have we gone 15 minutes into this show, KT, and not talked about Tiffy Time?
Oh yeah, she cashed in, didn't she?
Tiffy Time cashed in last night, and it was great. It was Dolph Ziggler-esque. I loved it. They swerved you, they hung you, they thought, okay, they're gonna hold off again, but bam. They did it. It
No, it was
great.
brilliant. She comes down, looks like she's gonna save Nia. Or no, she actually looks like she's gonna screw Nia.
And then she saves Nia.
Saves Nia, screws up the referee, lets Bianca do her thing, and then takes advantage of the situation. It was fucking brilliant.
Yeah,
man.
I thought it was great. The crowd loved it. I think it was time. It almost feels like the WWE is going into this new era, like SmackDown last night, first 3-hour show being
True.
on USA.
That was a big deal too.
They're almost a fresh start.
I was
too.
watching last night when someone said first 3 hour SmackDown,
Yeah.
and I'm like, oh shit, that's right.
It's almost like a reset. Like you got Raw, Netflix, let's reset. You got SmackDown, USA, 3-hour show, let's reset. I think you're going to see a lot of things happen. I thought it was perfect timing with Tiffy. I thought she deserves it. It was very Dolph Ziggler-esque. When Ziggler cashed in on Alberto Del Rio, that was one of the greatest, in my opinion, the greatest cash in of any Money in the Bank to this day. And I think Tiffy cashing in last night was a close second.
It was very good. It was very good. I was stoked to see like how it happened, how she acclaimed it, and yeah, I mean like there's a new face to like the women's wrestling. Like
she's young, she's got it. I mean, and you got some people that are coming back. You got so many possibilities with Charlotte Flair. When Jade Cargill comes back, like what are they gonna do with all this? The women's division is kind of shaping up very nicely, and
they've added 2 belts. They got an intercontinental belt now and a U.S. belt.
You know, since our last podcast,
and is each one of those going to be on different networks?
Since our last podcast, we've got Chelsea Green, who well deserving won the U.S. title.
Awesome.
That was a great story. Her and Piper Niven, just an unbelievable story. Michin played the perfect person to lose that, and they even kind of prolonged it a little bit. Sounds like they're going to do a little program with Michin and Chelsea Green. And now you have the women's intercontinental belt with Dakota Kai up against Lyra Valkyrie. I think it's going to get crowned on Raw Netflix.
I think so too.
Yeah, that's going to be a great match.
Yeah, they're setting up Raw Netflix to be a big thing. And man, I'm excited, just like we've talked about it before, about them going to Netflix. Like, I mean, we don't need to necessarily go back to like the Attitude Era and like the rated R stuff, but to see some new kind of storylines, maybe not so PG, but keep it PG for the kids, but have some like adult stuff.
Yeah, man, they're going to be 3 hours on Netflix.
They're going to have tons of time to tell stories. And you're going to have NXT on Tuesday nights or Wednesday nights, whatever it is. I think you got, like tonight, New Year's Evil, NXT. I think Trick Williams is going to lose the belt because I think Trick Williams is going to move to SmackDown. I think Trick Williams has got an unbelievable potential. I think he loses the belt tonight to Obafemi. I think Obafemi is a future. It's his turn to take the reign. And I think Trick Williams moves over to SmackDown. And I think you're going to see a few NXT people come because they have 3 hours to fill. Okay.
So they got to fill some rosters, and a lot of that SmackDown roster has gone to Raw. Like when SmackDown came
at this
on
point,
Fox,
I don't even know what roster is what right now because they've been kind of
they have this open transfer portal, and that's why Drew's all over the place. I don't know what they're doing with Drew. Like last night with Jay, he's been with Sammy. Like I don't know.
He destroys Jay on Raw.
I don't know.
Then he shows up and hugs Cody on fucking.
I don't know how I feel about Drew. Like,
to me, he's kind of wasted right now.
I just don't know how I feel about Drew in general. Like, I didn't know how he was going to work with CM Punk, but it worked, and I don't know why. Maybe CM Punk made it work, but now it's like. I find this thing with Drew. It's like,
well, nobody wants to see a sword fucking slayer. Like it's not fucking Game of Thrones.
The sword anymore.
It's not Game. It's still fucking ching ching before his music comes out.
It's kind of cool.
Is it?
I don't know.
No, people's characters get fucking old at some point in time. Like it happens all the time. Like it's hard to be. I mean, we've talked about it before. Like, look at how many times Jericho has changed his fucking his thing, like his gimmick, his fucking character. Like sometimes like things just get kind of
I
old.
can't
Like
wait for Jericho to come back to WWE.
oh, I
You
know.
know he is.
Why
You
not?
know he is.
Of course he's going to come back. Like
Like, how
Cody.
cool would it be if he came back and fucked Kevin Owens over?
Oh, it'd be
And it
fucking
was the
sick.
whole festival of friendship, dude.
It'd
He was
be
like,
sick.
"You just made the list again." He could do that. Like,
It would
you
be.
know,
It would
you
be
really think
unbelievable.
Jericho's not going to come back and finish his career in WWE? Like, come on.
Until he's done wrestling, he's gonna
Yeah.
come back.
Like, I can't believe.
I mean, shit. We haven't even talked about like Cena's. Obviously, Cena's probably gonna show up on Monday night.
Speaking of Monday night, it's already announced. Cena's farewell tour begins. Like, what?
So what are they gonna do with that?
There's rumors that he's going to win the Rumble.
My God, why?
I don't know, because he's John Cena, dude. He's an icon in our business.
So that they'll just throw him against Cody, probably.
No, they'll probably throw him against Gunther. If Gunther still holds the belt by then. What's happening with Gunther?
Yeah, now Damian Priest is back in the fucking feud with fucking
Finn.
with Finn and fucking Judgment Day.
I like what they've kind of done with Damian and the War Raiders versus Judgment Day. Like, I thought that's been really cool. I'm loving to see what the War Raiders are finally getting their comeuppance. They're finally getting their payoff for all the years in independence, all the injuries both of those guys have faced, and now they're finally getting their glory of winning the tag belts. I mean, that was awesome. And now they're in kind of they're been thrusted into this little storyline as Damian's partners, which I just think it's awesome for those guys. Chris Van Fleet had a great interview with Ivar, who's one of the bigger guy with the beard. He's got a great interview this week, and the War Raiders are finally getting their payoff for all those years in independent wrestling.
I guess we're at a point right now where, like, someone like Damian, it's like I could see him winning the Royal. Like, I could see him winning the Rumble for like legit.
Yeah.
Be like a real thing, but
why?
But why? And
You've got to have somebody win that Rumble because he needs to go for something. Like, Damian, like, the Rumble is going to have a lot of layers in it. You're going to probably have Kevin Owens, Randy Orton in the Rumble. That's going to be a scenario. You're probably going to have Seth CM Punk in the Rumble. That's going to be a layer. You're going to have all these different feuds coming into the Rumble. And then which direction is the WWE going to go with as far as who do you want to face Cody or who do you want to face Gunther?
It's probably going to be someone we're not even thinking about right now.
It could be. I mean, my prediction is John Cena, just because or The Rock.
Yeah,
Rock comes out number 30.
They could do that too. I mean,
or he comes out in mysterious 31.
Right. I mean, they really can go anywhere, and it's just kind of like we're gonna see what happens. I don't know. I think wrestling's in a good place. I think this Netflix kickoff is gonna be something to.
Yeah,
behold.
I mean, and even SmackDown. Like, don't forget about SmackDown. They had a great show last night. They put themselves right in the mix. You got.
Yeah, we're not a secondary show.
Now you got 2 3-hour shows. You got NXT that's getting 2-hour show. Like I said, I think Trick Williams does lose the title tonight to Obafemi. I think, because I don't think what's the other guy, Thorpe or whatever. I don't think he's. I think Obafemi is the new star of that company, and I think Trick Williams now comes to SmackDown. I think you're going to see a couple NXT people in SmackDown.
Of course.
Just because now you have 3 hours to fill. And I think Obafemi will run with that probably for the next year.
And we got roster changes coming. We got.
I mean, you got
transfer portal. We got the draft. We got
the draft. The good thing about like NXT is they have good champions right now. They've got D'Angelo, who's the North American champion. You've got these guys that can kind of run with it. And you've got good contenders like Ethan Page. You've got Ridge Holland. You've got these guys that...
Is there anyone in NXT they believe could win the Rumble?
No, but I think we're going to see. I bet you Trick Williams shows up at the Rumble. That might be his deal. I don't think they have... I don't think winning the Rumble. Like, I think the biggest... In recent
at some point
years,
in time when they have the guy, if the guy comes
if
from...
you remember in recent years, Andrade, when he came up, he had a hell of a run in the Rumble. Like, they always have a guy. Carmelo Hayes had a good run in the Rumble.
Yep.
They always have a guy from NXT come in, and a girl. They always have those girls come up. Last year, I think it was Jordan Grace, who was actually from TNA, came up, and she had a nice little run. Naomi came in because she was actually with TNA at the moment when she came in. So I think, like, we got a good couple of months coming up here.
Of course.
I mean, we haven't even talked about everything.
We're getting right into the season.
Like, dude, one of the other big, we talked about Tiffy Time women's division, but how about Raw Netflix? We got Rhea and Liv finally.
Yeah.
How does Rhea not win that match? I mean, right. Dirty Dom?
Oh, of course, Dirty Dom's going to be a fucking player.
Yeah, do you think they're going to prolong it for Rhea to win it at WrestleMania, or are they going to let her win it here?
I think they will. I mean, if it's me...
Because Liv, in my opinion, Liv could possibly be the 2024 Superstar of the Year.
Yeah.
What she did...
Liv should hold it till WrestleMania, and then if they're going to let Rhea...
So what do you think could happen in the match on Raw Netflix that could prolong it? She's not going to win clean.
No. Dom's going to be a part of it. I don't know, man. They could play into like Dom and Rhea's like old relationship. He sucks her in.
Raquel, you got all the Judgment Day there. You've got a lot of scenarios.
They would just beat the shit out of her. I mean, there's all kinds of stuff they can do. I think they should pay it off at WrestleMania. Like, I'm always a big fan of put the baby faces through torture. Like,
that's how you pay off.
And that's how you get off.
That's how Vince always said it. You gotta piss the fans off night after night after night.
Of course,
big payoff, that's what we got with Cody. They went.
Why do you think Cody's like fucking not on the best? Like nobody gives a shit about Cody's story right now because
I'm done. You know me.
Yeah.
I'm done with Cody.
I know.
I'm not done with Cody. I'm done with the story.
Right.
I'm done with that whole shtick. I'm done with the. I'm ready for Cody to turn heel. I'm ready for Cody to turn heel. Mm-hmm. I want to see an evolution. But I mean, WWE went so far as to pull it away from the fans at a WrestleMania to prolong it to the next WrestleMania for the ultimate payoff. The Daniel Bryan payoff. Chris Benoit, Eddie Guerrero payoff. Like those nights at WrestleMania. If you're not going to pay the storyline off at WrestleMania, then what are you writing for?
Right.
What story are you trying to tell? If you're not, that's your Super Bowl. That's your culmination of your story to be told at WrestleMania.
Shit, you let Rhea eat it for the next year and pay her off next year. It'll put her over even bigger. You give her little like pop moments.
And Liv has been fantastic.
You give her pop moments every couple months. She gets a win. She gets like one of those little wins. Makes you still fucking...
The only thing that I will call a little bit is because the way she lost the belt was because of the injury. Right. Like it wasn't story related.
True.
That's the only thing that may prevent that from happening. Because I don't think you can dangle the carrot in front of Rhea because she was injured and lost.
She was the champ.
Yeah, like she didn't get screwed out of the title in a match, so to say. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, where do you go? But I think Liv Morgan is a sneaky superstar of the year for 2024. I really do.
She was a hell of a performer.
The story with Dom, one of the greatest, and you know, me and Kenny have said on this podcast that sometimes, you know, the storylines of the ladies don't keep us enthralled, but that storyline has. The Tiffy storyline cashing in has. Like, and now you've created some secondary belts in the ladies division. And
the good ones too, just like the men. It's just like, it's not anything against the women's division. It's like when there's real superstars that you actually care about, you're gonna love them. There's half the male card that I could give a shit about watching.
But you care about Rhea Ripley.
I love Rhea Ripley.
And
I love Charlotte Flair.
And
I wasn't a big fan of the man. Just me personally.
I don't like the character.
No, I'm not a big fan of Bayley. But there's other ones that I fucking love. I love Bianca Belair. Like,
I can't wait to see what happens with the whole Jade thing. Who really did? They kind of addressed it a little bit the other night in a backstage segment. Was like, oh, we got to approach what happened to Jade, and it's like, who did it? Is it Bianca? Is it Naomi? Right now, the leading candidate is Naomi because now she's a tag champion because Jade ain't around.
And I mean, what are they doing there? Like, it's coming out now. Like, why has it not been talked about for a couple of weeks? But I think it just goes back to what we talked about. Like, they're just.
But there's a lot of rumors of why Jade's out. Like,
right.
Is she really hurt? Is she have? There's some people speculating there's health issues with her, or it's just all story, or just all story. Yeah, I mean, but I don't think they thrust it. Like Jade may not have been ready, but I don't think they thrusted her into too big of a spotlight tag. No. Like you're not putting her into a. But I really could have seen her being the first ever U.S. champion or the first ever Intercontinental champion.
Oh yeah.
But I think Chelsea Green deserved that. Intercontinental.
Chelsea's
Dakota
awesome.
Kai has been. Yeah, I mean Dakota Kai has been in a big injury situation. Lyra Valkyrie is a very good technical wrestler. She's very good. She doesn't have much character development, so people don't know her. So was
the one that was wearing the blue mascara the other night?
I think that they're going to put the belt on Dakota Kai. I feel like that's the direction they're going to go. I know they made Io Sky lose in that semifinals because I think Io Sky is more of a the heavyweight championship. Because, she's already been a champion.
She's a contender.
Yeah, so like that, like we've talked about on this podcast, that Intercontinental U.S. Championship level is supposed to be for you to get ready to.
She basically put her over the other night.
Yeah, and Lyra Valkyrie is very good. She's very good. She just doesn't have. She hasn't been in a big story.
And I love seeing her reaction afterwards. Like she was actually surprised to even win. It was like, this is cool. Like. That's a nice segment, like where she's like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe I did!" And she was awesome in the match.
What else do we have on Raw, Netflix? Are we missing anything? You know who's going to make his appearance? I mean, McAfee's got to come back. College football season's over.
True.
He's got to come back for Raw Netflix.
Oh, of course he's going to be back. McAfee's coming back.
Oh yeah.
He might be the first one introduced when they kick it off. And Michael Cole's going to fucking bust his nut and fucking not know what to do.
Let's see. I don't think we're missing anything for Raw. Cena's return, Tribal Combat.
Leverseria.
Oh, like, where are we at with The Miz and Karrion Kross, Final Testament, Wyatt Six? Like, I feel like they're kind of doing a Wyatt family thing. They're letting this beautiful storyline go to the side.
Of course they are. Because they don't know how to, like, let themselves just have that. Like, tell a great story. Like, it doesn't have to be about the belt every week. It doesn't have to be about, like, you can tell this story and it would be awesome. And people would fucking love it. Because you've intrigued us all with the Wyatt Six.
Mm-hmm.
But what are you going to do? You're going to ruin it like you did with the Wyatt family to begin with. And you have an actual faction that can challenge them, who are just as crazy, with guys who have character and persona to carry the storyline. Mm-hmm. Like, you have all that. So why let it go to waste? And it feels like it is. I mean, you even introduced The Miz to it. So it's like, let's see this thing go forward.
Yeah. I mean, I can't wait for Monday night. I really can't.
It's going to set a big tone, man. Like, I honestly think it is. I think they're going to come out and say this is what the new era of wrestling is. The Netflix era.
Yeah, I mean, it's live streaming. I mean, we talked about it with Brady last week about how live streaming is going to take over the wrestling business. Like, we also, we brought it up at the beginning of the show. We had a big weekend outside of SmackDown, gearing up for Raw. New Japan is having a massive weekend. Wrestle Kingdom was last night. Zack Sabre Jr. still the champion. I think they said he was the only foreigner to come into Wrestle Kingdom as a champion and leave as a champion. You had, I don't know if you guys saw online, but David Finley's entrance from the Bullet Club was phenomenal. New Japan laying out all the stops there. There's a lot of stories going on there. Wrestle Dynasty is tomorrow. New Japan. This is a big weekend for New Japan. Big weekend.
Sounds like it.
And then TNA. Nick Nemeth still running the show. The old Dolph Ziggler. We talked about him tonight. I feel like Nick Nemeth has really found himself a home.
They got some good stuff going on over there.
TNA, I'm excited about TNA. I've been watching it
Even,
more and more.
what was his name? Oz? Moose. Moose. Like all that over there in TNA.
Yeah, but TNA's doing some good stuff. But
isn't that where Bobby Lashley is too?
No, Bobby Lashley's in AEW.
He was AEW.
Let's talk about AEW. Last week at World's End, we had a massive return. You folks probably know him as Edge, but Adam Copeland returned with FTR.
Fucking sick.
And just fucked the Death Riders up. And if you guys have been watching AEW, the Death Riders have been shitting all over AEW, telling everybody how much AEW sucks and how they have to destroy it and all this stuff. And the other night, at the end, you had the old Cesaro, Eula Wheeler, and Jon Moxley in the ring, and FTR's music hit, and they stopped in the ring, and then fucking Adam Copeland's music hit, and it was rated FTR, dude. It was so sick. And if you look at the pictures, it was the old freaking Adam. He broke the spike off of the chair and fucking had it in Moxley, destroyed Moxley. So I think we are in store for a phenomenal rivalry between Adam Copeland and Jon Moxley.
Yeah, and think what you want about AEW, and sometimes they don't do everything right. But what Jon Moxley is doing
the funny thing is when Adam Copeland went to talk, the mic didn't work. Typical AEW. I saw some comments online. It was like AEW at its finest.
Yeah, and you get that, and that's what kind of sometimes throws you away from it. But I swear, what Jon Moxley's doing over there, his new persona, the way he's taken over, like, this guy could have been a star in the WWE. Yeah. They try to give him... I'm not always the biggest, lunatic fringe thing that he had going on, but I love him in AEW. Because I think that, to me, I get to see him just as that character.
The only thing that's weird, that I find is a little weird with the AEW storyline is you have your number one guy, Jon Moxley, is your number one guy.
He's number one.
Number one, MJF, But if you got your number one guy in a storyline talking about how bad AEW is and how he needs to destroy it, that doesn't give you a whole lot of credibility as a company.
True.
I understand what you're trying to do and the premise of it, but let's take a look back a little bit. You're trying
to do things like NWO, Nexus. You're trying to do weird shit.
But they're not there. They have really swung and missed for a lot.
No, I get what you're saying.
I just don't. The good thing about AEW is the talent that comes over. Like tonight or tomorrow night in New Japan, Wrestle Dynasty. You've got the Young Bucks on the card, Ricochet's on the card. You've got a lot of AEW talent. Don't be yawning. Come on, man. But I think we're in store for a great feud with Adam Copeland, Edge, and Jon Moxley. I think what they did, and FTR is one of my favorite tag teams in the industry right now. It's a shame that they're in AEW because I think they could be doing some amazing things in the WWE roster. I know that they had their opportunity in WWE and they weren't happy with it and they left. But I think that night at World's End last weekend was just awesome. AEW needed something, needed some juice. And with Edge, I keep calling him Ed, when Adam Copeland came back, that really provided some edge for AEW.
Yeah, no, that's like the kind of thing that can change viewership, can change that's like when I was a kid, paying attention what the Four Horsemen were doing on WCW.
Yeah.
Like, even though I was an avid WWF fan, I'm going to say WWF because that's what it was at the time. Like, you would see Saturday Night Main Event, which was WCW, and you tune in on 6 to 8 and see Lex Luger or see Sting or see the Four Horsemen. It wasn't enough to keep you there all the time. You still wanted to see Raw, you still wanted to see everything, but just those little stories get you
like,
kind of crossed over.
AEW has really like made me uninterested, but after watching the Adam Copeland return, I want to see what him and Moxley could do. Because
there's great talent over there. I mean, that's the thing.
The Death Riders are running the show. You've got MJF and whatever he's got going on.
Who, by the way, if you don't know who MJF is,
Maxwell Jacob Friedman.
He's fucking one of the best on-mic guys and maybe one of the best wrestlers that will ever.
He'll be in WWE before long.
Yeah, and can't wait till that guy.
I can't wait. It's
the microphone in his hand.
It's so perfectly set up. When he's done, he can come back to WWE and go right after Punk.
Yeah.
Like, it's so set up.
Anybody that knows what their fucking thing was,
yeah,
we'll do one of these episodes at some point.
It was so good. But, like, you know, there's, with TNA, with AEW, with Raw Netflix, NWA, there's so much stuff going on, dude.
Ring of Honor, New Japan.
Ring of Honor with Jericho and Matt Cardona. Like, it was so good. Matt Cardona, I don't know if he's just a kind of, he came in and went. I don't know if what else he's got going on. But, Matt Cardona is, Chelsea Green's husband. Like, there's a whole relationship there. I would love to see Matt Cardona get another chance in WWE. Not as Zack Ryder, like as Matt Cardona. Just like Cody went out and reinvented himself. But what's happening in TNA, big weekend for New Japan. Like last night, they had that fatal 4-way match, and Jeff Cobb was a superstar last night. That's your last Ring of Honor champion before AEW bought it. Like Jeff Cobb reminds me of a Rhino, like that Rhino character, and he was awesome last night. He was awesome. And, like, he was the last official Ring of Honor champion before it got AEW morphed into whatever it is now. Jericho's a champion. I mean, but, like, the original Ring of Honor before it got morphed was Jeff Cobb, and now he is in New Japan, and they had a great 4-way match last night. But, like, what's happened in New Japan? AEW guys on the roster for tomorrow night. Ricochet, Young Bucks are on it. It's going to be great, man.
The thing is like, the most beautiful thing about professional wrestling is, like, you can love any promotion you want. Like, if you want to watch New Japan, love it. You want to watch TNA, love it.
Yeah.
We went to an independent wrestling show tonight, and it was it was cool.
Dude, PWR New Year's Knockout. It was a great event. The weather was perfect. We were a little nervous about the weather. It was supposed to be cold.
Us in Florida thought it was going to be cold. It was beautiful 60-degree day.
But they crowned their first ever heavyweight champion tonight. Shane the Element Evans. Looked like he may have gotten hurt a little bit, but he was able to finish the match, get the job done, hold up the belt as the first ever champion. Congratulations, Shane Evans, the first ever PWR heavyweight champion.
Yeah, kudos, man.
DeLand, Florida, baby.
That was awesome.
He was good tonight from the contract signing in the start of the show to the end. He was awesome. Obi's restaurant did it again. What a crowd tonight.
Yeah.
What a crowd tonight.
Very good crowd. Diva D was doing her bullshit that she always does. Talking shit.
You know who I missed tonight? I missed little Dick Mondell in the ring tonight.
Yeah, we didn't see him in the...
Yeah, he held up that championship belt, and it looked like he took the night off.
That's all right.
Yeah, he deserves it. He's a veteran. He's been around the business. But the arena looked great. The ring looked great. The ring aprons. We had KT's boy show up out of nowhere tonight. Alejandro Bravo
got into a little thing with Chris Carnage.
Yeah, what was that about, dude?
Yeah, Chris Carnage ended up being the special.
Chris Carnage has got a bunch of shit he's dealing with Forrest.
And
he doesn't need to deal with anybody else.
Well, he stuck his nose where he didn't fucking need to stick it. And Alejandro Bravo caught him out. And then he ended up being a special guest referee. It's like, what
Bobby
do we...
Munoz, right? That was a great match tonight.
It was a very good match.
Yeah.
Alejandro Bravo is a very good wrestler.
KT loves him some Alejandro Bravo.
I'll call him the star of the night every time I go and see that guy.
Yeah, dude. It was what else did we have tonight? We started off the show with the contract signing, Tiberius and
got to unveiling the belt.
Got to see the belt, the first ever belt. I loved it. I loved the blue leather.
Yeah,
I thought that was awesome.
Classic look.
You know, I thought that you know, then we got into the fatal 4-way match. We had the Viking was victorious tonight.
Yeah.
So it was Obi's Deland did another great job. The last show we had Thanksgiving Throwdown to tonight, 10 times as many people.
Oh, it was awesome.
It was a great crowd. Great crowd. The wrestlers were there. They could feel it.
Dude, how good was the triple threat tag team match?
The triple threat. KT got called out by unnatural causes.
Yeah, unnatural causes. Said, hey, asshole, do you want to come in this ring? And I said, I will.
But unnatural causes, you had the Chad and John X Machina and then Wild West Seagrass and Boom.
And these guys, I kept calling them Star Trek all night because they're acting like they're from fucking outer space.
But Brian Kaiser, who was a contender for my star of the night at Thanksgiving Throwdown, does it again.
Phenomenal.
Off the top rope, outside of the ring.
As far as in ring, Kaiser.
Kaiser is phenomenal.
Star of the night.
Phenomenal.
Star of the night, promo wise, and just
the Chad with the 680 out of the ring onto the mat, that was phenomenal. He was great. That match might have been the match of the night.
Oh, it
might have been the match.
All the spots, all the moments.
Alejandro Bravo and Munoz was a great match tonight too. I think the main event was kind of marred a little bit with an injury. I think they had to kind of wrap that up a little bit. I thought Shane Evans did a great job. I thought Tiberius did a great job, but I don't think that match kind of went the way they wanted it to go. But I was happy to see that Shane could hold that belt up in front of his hometown and walk out as the champion. We had the fatal 4-way with a new guy we haven't seen, Ironside. He was kind of nasty.
He was nasty. Yeah, big motherfucker.
Ironside and who was it? Gordy Rattler?
Oh, yeah.
Dude, he was awesome, man. He took a hard bump on the outside on the concrete.
Big 300-pound motherfucker.
That was a big, and then Boomer. And I can't remember who was the fourth guy. Oh,
the guy with the mohawk.
Yeah, the guy green mohawk. I'm drawing a blank.
Kind of like a
he was good though.
Featherweight type of.
He was kind of outmatched by everybody in weight wise.
But he held his own, man.
Yeah,
he had some nice spots.
Yeah, it was good. There was some good stuff. The show tonight was awesome. I was so happy to see. You know, we had Brady,
the turnout. We
had
was
Brady
amazing.
Gibson last week, one of the co-owners, and we're so happy to see that they had success tonight. They had a crowd. They crowned their first champion, which is huge.
Of course, we didn't see the entitled millennial. He couldn't even take the time to show up to the event. Chris Carnage was calling him out.
Yeah, Chris Carnage was upset. He was very upset.
Chris Carnage had to get into something with Alejandro Bravo because the entitled millennial is just so entitled that he can't show up. And I do believe that Diva D has something going on with the entitled millennial as far as
contract-wise,
letting him just keep going up the ladder.
How is the entitled millennial not at New Year's Knockout?
Yeah. He called in last week on our show and talked all kinds of shit because he couldn't be on the podcast.
And Chris Carnage is out there, and then he gets interrupted by Alejandro Bravo, and he's forced to be in a guest referee. And to be honest with you...
Oh, he was pulling shenanigans too.
But to be honest with you, I'm surprised he counted the 3 count.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
There were some slow counts and there were some fast counts.
Come on, Chris. You're better than that. You shouldn't have counted that against the angriest man. But that match was good. Bobby Munoz was good. Yeah, it overall.
Oh, we're going to be explaining everything that's coming out of this PWR because there's a lot of shit behind the scenes.
There's a lot of layers
going on.
We have a world champion now, Shane Evans, world champion. We'll see.
Everyone's
We'll
going to be
see
going
who-
for that belt.
Yep, their next show they announced
We're going to
tonight.
see how Diva D calls the next promotion.
Yep,
I mean,
saw
she's
tonight
obviously the one that's in charge.
Yeah, oh yeah, she's the owner. We had them announce their Valentine's Day, February 22nd.
22nd, I think.
Yep. They're gonna have a nice little. I guess it's gonna be at. It sounds like it was gonna be at OB's again.
I think it's going to be at
Yeah.
OB's.
So OB's has turned out to be quite a sight. Tonight was awesome. I mean, there was a great crowd tonight. But yeah, PWR brand new champion Shane the Element Evans.
Check it out. They streamed the show tonight.
Yeah,
I think you can
it
find
was
it
a
on,
kind of a
probably on
test
Facebook.
stream.
Probably find it on every social media. Just look up PWR.
It was great.
Independent
It was
Wrestling.
Yeah, we were so happy to be there. It was a fun night. We brought some friends of ours with us, so it was a good crowd. It was a good crowd. KT almost got called out in the ring.
I did.
Unnatural causes.
Yeah,
all
that
over
motherfucker. He did too, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Well, you were asking for it.
I was asking for it.
Yeah.
I told him to go back home, Star Trek.
But we're excited. We'll be at the we'll be talking about the February event. Hopefully, we'll be having one of the other wrestlers on leading up to that event. I know old Forrest wants to be on. The entitled millennial.
I almost don't want to let him on just because he's so
We
fucking
should keep
entitled.
prolonging it.
Oh, I'm gonna let that
Yeah.
motherfucker hang on the line for a long time. You better get a good guest booker there, entitled millennial.
Yeah, maybe we'll have Chris Carnage on next.
Oh.
But no, we got a big week ahead of us. KT, Raw, Netflix, big night, Monday night.
We're back. The holidays are over.
The holidays are
We've had a
over.
couple of episodes that you've seen where
which you guys did great. You guys watched it all. We just kind of went over some stuff from our childhood. But Raw and Netflix, we're gonna have a lot of talk about leading up into Royal Rumble, 1st of February. I don't know what the exact date is. And then leading into Elimination Chamber.
yeah, we're getting ready into the
we're
best
getting into
season of the
best
WWE.
storylines. Royal Rumble is my favorite pay-per-view of all time. We got Elimination Chamber following up in Toronto, and then we lead right into WrestleMania in Las Vegas, baby.
Yep.
So
Are we going?
I don't know. Maybe.
We keep talking about it. Are we
undecided.
going?
Still undecided.
We're thinking about it, but we're not really thinking about it.
Yeah, we might be going. I don't know. But no, we appreciate everybody continuing to listen, continuing to check out our views. We appreciate Brady Gibson last week for joining us for the interview.
PWR for just having us out
PWR
today.
for
Great
having us
event.
out. Everybody's awesome. We're looking forward to continuing that relationship with PWR. And we're excited for everything happening with New Year's Evil tonight, NXT. We've also got New Japan Wrestle Dynasty tomorrow
Fucking
night.
wrestling every night of the week.
Yeah.
If you love
Tune
wrestling,
it in.
there is wrestling every
gonna
night of the week.
What's going to happen with Adam Copeland and Jon Moxley? What's going to happen now that Tiffy Time is the new champion? What's going to happen there? We've got a lot. We went from 2 weeks ago where we were questioning what was happening, and now it didn't even dawn on us that they were treating Raw and Netflix as a PLE, but they did. And what are we going to see Monday night?
It's going to be awesome.
I'm going to be excited for it. I think you're going to see The Rock. I think you're going to see John Cena. I think you're going to see a lot of stuff. If you think about it, Raw ended a massive historical run on USA.
God, since like
30 plus
1990,
years.
91 or
30 plus
92.
years. The longest episodic show on television didn't end.
Every
It
Monday
ended on
night
Raw.
at 8 o'clock.
And it ended on USA. And now that you have Joe Tessitore, and probably I'm going to guess that Pat McAfee will be there Monday night. He's going to be your guy on Monday night. So we're looking forward to that. Can't wait for it. We're back. Holidays are over. We're back for you guys. We got, new backdrop behind us, new setup. You can tell me and KT are a little closer than we normally are. So we are looking forward to that. Probably the next couple months, we're going to be releasing a new logo. Maybe a little bit of merchandise. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
But we appreciate everything you guys are doing for us.
Like, subscribe, hit us up, comment, Tell us everything that's going on that you like, that you don't like. We don't give a shit. We just want to hear from you. And
yeah. KT, in the great words, let's wrap this up. In the great words of Jackie Moon.
ELE.
Everybody love everybody.